Hey everyone, Tin Man here, back with some more Dota Underlords, playing rank mode. Up in Lord of Whitespire, ranked somewhere in the 300-ish. I've honestly dropped a little bit in this latest patch, still trying to figure out the meta. So with my first gameplay video here in the new patch, this is the one where they have substantially nerfed the early game of Savages in particular. Venomancer used to be one of the top picks in the early game, but they removed his Plague Ward ability, opting for Poison Gale, and that ability is just not nearly as effective in the early game as the old Summon Plague Ward was. And they also removed Lycan's Summon Wolves, which definitely reduced the power of Savages in the early game. So with that in mind, I think that makes Tiny particularly appealing in the early game. He was one of the best units just behind Venomancer because of his big stun ability, his toss ability. Just very, very high impact, and I think he retains a top spot here in the early game. Tusk got slightly buffed, but with the overall nerf to Savages, I'm not really sure that I love Tusk, but since we do have a warrior already, I'm happy to pick that up. Also pick up Axe just to have the option to go up to 3 warriors if we want to. I guess I probably should have put Axe in here for this creep round, just to hopefully get him a kill or two, in case we wanted to go that way. But if we don't get an early Beastmaster, I'm really not inclined to go for Axes. And we look around, we see 2 people have completed Razor 2-star, and 2 people have already picked up Beastmaster, so I probably don't really want to compete with other people for that. Here I'll pick up, and these are kind of like the 3 best choices of Tier 1 items. We already have 1 Chainmail, so I think I'm going to pick up Embarrassment of Riches just to get a couple more options for next turn. Hopefully we can pick up some Tier 2 items. So here we see some more warriors, but also 2 knights. There's 2 people who've picked up Chaos Knight, so I'm not super inclined to go that way. We'll pick up the pair of Tinies here. And then, yeah, so this is pretty good. We've got our 3 warriors. We probably don't need to run Axe. And then we've got a pair of Tinies. So I think that's a good start. That's a good start right now. Just scouting out opponents here. There's been a very popular strategy the past couple days that has to do with kind of hyper rerolling for Beastmasters, Axes, and some other warriors and hunters. And I've seen some people they would go to level 6 and then they just stay at level 6 and just reroll a whole lot. So that may be what some people are going for here. The problem with that strategy is that if multiple people are going for it, it becomes very, very difficult. Here we got a 2-star Axe, so that's a pretty easy replacement for the Tusk here, and we're going to give him the Chainmail over the Pudge, because you want to put Chainmail on whoever has the most health on your team, because that way the armor will be that much more effective. It'll get to reduce more damage over more life total. And I think I'm going to pick up Witch Doctor here as my next unit. Warriors naturally pair very well with Warlocks, because warriors have high defensive capabilities, which means every point of their health is effectively more useful, because if you have plus 10 armor, that means that you're taking substantially less damage, but whenever you get healed, you still get healed for the same amount. So if you get healed for 100 points of damage, that 100 points of health essentially becomes 200 or 300 health if you have substantial damage reduction. So the Warlock healing abilities from the Warlock ability is very powerful when paired with warriors. And we've picked up Target Buddy here, who's basically just like another tank who can just sit up front and just draw some fire away from our more important units. So there's a Lycan, who I like quite a bit. Even though he did get nerfed in the early game, he's still quite strong when you consider the his late game potential. His late game potential is very powerful. Because he lost his wolves, he got bonuses he gained more max health, and he does higher critical damage whenever he transforms. So I'm going to pick him up here on the hope that, maybe we can get him up to 3-star at some point in the game, and then he can be a very big carry. And because we got a Savage, we're going to swap out the Tiny for a Tusk, so that we can get the Savage ability to actually start stacking up the bleed. It's not quite as effective as it used to be when you get the wolves, who could also stack, but it's still pretty strong. Alright, I think we've got this one. Tusk is still alive, so he'll be able to stack this bleed, and we should be good to go. This Nature's Prophet's going to cast again, which is going to hurt, but we should be fine. It can't ever kill the axe. Alright, let's pick up the Wind Ranger here to kind of go with the Hunter plan, and also pick up Enchantress with our bonus gold. We look around and we see there's still 2 people who are picking up Beastmasters, kind of trending towards Hunters, so maybe we have to be wary whether or not we want to go fully in on Hunters or not. There's another Witch Doctor, and I kind of want it, but I kind of want to sell off to get up to 10 gold of interest. I guess I can't realistically do that, because I'm looking at like these these units over here, which add up to 4 total gold. I could get up to 9, but even then I don't really want to lose the option of like Wind Ranger or Enchantress if you get her to 2-star. Typically on round 6 I'm looking to sell up to 10 gold, but it doesn't always happen if you've got a lot of good pairs that you want to hold on to, or if your board has a high value, because we've got a couple of 3-cost units on our board, the Lycan and the 2-cost axe. So we'll just we'll sell up to interest next turn then. And we can pick up the Abaddon here. Probably not going to run it, but he would give us the Heartless bonus along with Pudge. So that's one consideration. Okay, there's double Venomancer, which, if we get him to 2-star, is still definitely playable, but not very high on my list of priorities here. I think we're going to get rid of the Abaddon just to get up to 10 gold here, to grab our interest. And I'm not really interested in going Knights, because I see this one other person has a Knights build going, and they've got a lot of Knights on their bench. And Knights are a strategy that you really don't want to be contested for. If you're going to play Knights, you really, really want to be the only person playing it, because you're heavily reliant on getting 3-star units, and it just becomes much, much harder to get 3 stars if you are being contested by somebody else who's picking up your Knights. So we're going to win here, keep our win streak going. That's pretty sweet. Got a very good win streak going, so it looks like Warriors and Savages are a pretty strong early game. I'm going to pick up double Venomancer here. I'll throw Bat Rider out on the board to clear up the bench space. And hopefully we can complete one of these pairs here. We've got 3 pairs on our bench. And, well, we got the Venomancer. Probably the least important pair, but it works. A 2-star Venomancer is probably better than the 1-star Lycan here. I think that's probably correct. And actually, let's sell off these units to get up to 19, and just hopefully we win to get up to 20. No guarantees. This looks like I don't actually know. That 2-star Lena could really mess us up. We'll see. I don't know if we're gonna win this. Ooh. Don't look very likely. Ah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that 2-star Lena with the Brooch of the Aggressor, that deals quite a bit of damage, and that's very unfortunate, because if we had had one, we would have got up to 20 gold and cap our win streaks. That loss cost us quite a bit of gold. I don't think getting the Lycan would have been any better than the Venomancer. Would have been the same kind of result. There's a 2-star Witch Doctor, so that's a pretty good one. Gonna put that in, and you can't get any items, so I think this is fine. This kind of formation. It's unfortunate we had to sell off the Enchantress whenever we just got a new pair here, but it happens. So now we've got the Warlock bonus active, which is not super impactful in the early game. Sometimes because it requires you to deal damage in order to get the heal, and you're not always dealing a ton of damage. You're kind of relying on slow and steady and tankiness here in the early game. So it's not always the case that that's going to be super effective. But let's take a look at what the healing is done. Yeah, there's not a ton of healing for 500. It's not huge, but it is substantial. It is winning us this fight. Let's look at what the opponent's Enchantress... the opponent's Enchantress dealt more healing than like all of our units combined, or all of our Warlocks combined. So that just goes to show you how the Warlock bonus is a little bit weak in the early game here. But we did get the win, so that's sweet. We can pick up these units just to hold on to and then probably sell them as soon as we get the new pack here. Yeah, I think we're just going to get rid of these enchantresses, and I do want tiny, but I also want to get up to 30 gold of interest here. So we're just going to sell off that. I'm more interested in breaking apart the enchantress pair rather than the tiny pair, since we obviously are going to get the tiny upgrade. And enchantress is like a pretty low priority unit. She's mainly there, like she's good in the early game, the opening 10 rounds, but after that she starts to fall off in effectiveness. Tiny's going to be good. We're going to get a pudge here after interest is locked in, so that we now have a pair of pudges. And we probably want to replace the pudge with tiny on the board just at the moment, just because it's a 2-star versus a 1-star. And we'll pick up these other ones, but we're probably going to just sell them off. There's no downside to picking them up here. So Venomancer actually was able to do quite a substantial amount of damage in that fight. There's a Fall from Grace. I'm not really a big fan of the other options here, and it doesn't look like we're going anything towards mages, which would be kind of bad for Fall from Grace because you want the human buff. But in this kind of warriors and warlocks, it makes it a lot easier to get the Heartless bonus. I can put in the Lycan and the Pudge to get the Heartless bonus, but they're still at 1-star, and I'm not really thrilled about that because we've got a lot of other 2-star units to play instead. So despite the fact that I could get another alliance, I think I'd rather just stick with the higher starred units and keep our current crop of alliances out there. Alright, we've got a free reroll, so if we lose, we should use that free reroll so that we can get a new one before it overwrites. And looks like we're gonna win though. We got the I didn't realize he had a Helm of the Undying. Maybe we don't. No, we should be fine. Yeah, we got this. All right. Who do we want to buy here? Oh, this is the person who had the win streak. That's good that we stopped that win streak. That's good. I'm not really inclined to ever pick up or to ever play any of these units that I'm picking up here, but I'll pick them up just because if I do manage to get a pair of them next turn, we get a 2-star version. We get the 2-star Pudge, who's very good, but first I'm going to just sell off all these units to try to get higher gold for interest. I guess I don't need to sell off everybody. I guess I can't get up to 50. So we'll just buy the Pudge here, and is Pudge better than Axe? Axe has more armor and more DPS, so maybe Axe is fine, even though Pudge has more health. Man, everybody with the anti-mages. This person has 2 anti-mages. The last opponent had an anti-mage as well. How many anti-mages are out there? Oh, that's everybody. Okay, that's all of them. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger than that. Alright, so not really interested in these units, but I'm going to pump in my gold here to get right up to level 6 next turn, so we can put in the Pudge and have the chance of getting tier 4 units like Templar Assassin here. Even though we probably don't really want her, she doesn't really fit into, we're not really playing Assassins, we're kind of playing like a Warriors and Warlock combination, so probably pick up Slarter. But I'm just going to sell off these extra units to get up to 49 gold, and then if we win, we'll get up to 50 gold and collect the 50 gold of interest, which would be pretty powerful. And then after interest locks in here, we're going to buy, we can just buy these units, and then I'm going to hold off on buying the rest, because if I do need to reroll, which kind of seems likely, no, we're going to win this. Venomancer's untouched, we're good. Or are we? Ooh. Looks like we're going to lose. Alright, so the reason I didn't reroll or buy all these because we wanted to blacklist them if we did not win, which we did not win. It was very close. But their Treant healed so much. Yeah, 1400. Alright, well there's a Kunkka, and Kunkka can go in and get us the Heartless bonus along with Pudge. The problem is we now don't have the Savage bonus, so I might replace Axe here with the Lycan just to keep the Savage bonus, because that's a pretty substantial portion of our damage, is the Savage Bleed effect. So I think I'd rather keep that online here, even though we are downgraded a little bit. The Axe to a 1-star Lycan. And Axe kind of starts to fall off in usefulness by this point in the game anyway. He's a fine unit, especially if you get the Brawny bonus, but without it, I'm not a big fan of him. Ooh, Anti-Mage is getting us. Well, at least we got one of them down. Alright, let's use our free reroll here. We get an Alchemist. He's a very good Warlock. Not really going to go for Brawny. The main thing to go for Brawny is you need an early Beastmaster 2-star, which we do not have. So I'm going to try to avoid Brawnies and maybe even sell off this Axe. Still doing alright. I mean, our life total is pretty good. Our net worth is second, or I guess third in the game, but almost second in the game. The person who's on a 10-round losing streak is slightly better than us, but I'm not too concerned about that. Don't really want to pick up Mr. Warlock here. He is a Warlock, but he's only really useful if you have a big-time contract to put the Warlock or the Bloodbound buff on somebody else. I don't think I want to level to 7 next turn. It would cost me a couple points of interest, and I would just be putting the Axe back in, I think. I guess it would just cost me 1 point of interest, right? Maybe that's fine. I'm going to level to 7 here. It'll cost me... I'll gain my 10 gold for this turn. Well, there is the big time contract. You know, I'll pick that up, and then I will buy this Mr. Warlock. Let's just use it right now as a Vitality booster. Just does plus 250 health. And we get an Arc Warden. Okay, so we're going to like transition into this like Bloodbound plus Arc Warden kind of strategy, maybe with some Warriors and Warlocks interspersed there. So we probably want to get rid of like Tusk. Can probably get rid of... Actually, just get rid of the Axe. And then these extra Tinies as well. Get up to 49 gold. Hopefully we win. I quickly glanced at the scoreboard to see how many people were playing mages, and I saw 3 people with the mage buff, so I probably do want to keep open the option to get Slarter and get scaled. Just keep that as available, because I didn't want to sell them off because of that. This is... Okay, we got the win. Whew, it's close. Alright, so we pick up the Arc Warden here. We don't need to use the free reroll just yet. And can I like retool this build? I think I can. I think I do something like this. And I think this will be more effective because this still keeps us with the Heartless, the Warlock, the Warrior, and we just ditch Savage, which is starting to fall off a little bit in effectiveness. And we cash it in for an Arc Warden with a Bloodbound buff. I like that. Pick up the Witch Doctor. You know, I'm going to use the free reroll here just because I want to start getting, hopefully get some more 4-cost units now that we've got a reasonable shot of getting 4-cost units. And probably just going to get rid of these Savages here. Probably going to try to move away from Tiny as well. He's great in the early game, but starts to lose some effectiveness later on. Like Kunkka is just kind of like an upgraded version of Tiny. Has a big stun, but also is a lot more tanky. Looks like we're probably going to lose this. We don't quite have the damage to punch through all this with our Arc Warden dead. But we probably don't take a ton. Oh, nope. She got her heal off. Yeah, we're going to take 6 here. Okay. I still kind of want to keep the option open for Scaled, so I'll pick up a new Scaled here. And I'm just going to sell off these Savages. I guess we have 3 Warlocks, so I kind of want to get a 4th, but maybe that would just have to be Disruptor. There's another Arc Warden. Ooh, hello. Alright, let's use our reroll just because now we're just 1 away from Arc Warden 2-star, which would be insane. We did not find it. Oh, we went Necrophos. Necrophos would be a good another warlock because he also counts as a heartless. Let's just sit on this because I think before we reroll too terribly much, I think I want to get up to level 8 at least, just to give us the higher odds of getting the 4-cost units. Because we want to get like Alchemist, we want to get Tidehunter, we want to get Necrophos, Arc Warden of course. So there's just a lot of things that we want to get for 4-cost. Ooh, their snipers are crushing us. Yeah, we don't quite have the damage output to get through all that. It's alright. Our life total's still good. We're on a bit of a losing streak, right? Are we on... No, not quite. I thought we were on a 3-round losing streak. Alright, there's still 3 mage players we gotta be worried about. There's a Slark, which, like, counts as a scaled. Yeah, I'm in. He's not great at the moment. Like, I don't want to put him in just yet. I don't think I want Shadow Fiend either, because I think I want Doom if I want a warrior. But because I don't have a good unit, another good scale to put in. Ooh, these mages are tough. Yeah, we need a 2-star Arc Warden, otherwise we're not going to be able to beat these guys. We just don't have the damage output. Alright, gotta use our free reroll before it expires. There's a Tidehunter, which probably means where you would move away from Slarder. I think Slark's a little bit better if we're not going to get up to 6 warriors. And there's a Mr. Warlock. It's a creep round, so we're going to swap over to this left-hand side here so that we can beat the creeps. Because the one who spawns on the right-hand side here has more armor than the one on the left. So we want to be on the right-hand side preferentially to deal more damage to him there. And then we're just going to get our gold total, or our XP total, to 23 of 24. So we level up starting next turn. And next thing in is probably going to be... Well, with how many mages are out there, I feel like I want to put in Slark and Tidehunter and then cut one of the warriors. Oh no, we did lose. Well, actually, maybe that's fine. Maybe it's fine we wanted to lose, because now I get a better chance to find another big time contract. Right. Let's always look at the positive. I think that's a positive. We didn't get one. We found a Bracers of Desperation though. That's pretty good if we get it on a Tidehunter. I think we probably ditch the Tiny here for it. And we still want to be back on this kind of left-hand corner so that Arc Warden summons a unit to his left. So if it does get, say, hooked by an opposing Pudge, they're going to hook the copied Arc Warden, because he spawns preferentially on his left first. So now that we're up to level 8, I think we just need to be rerolling quite a bit now, because we've got a lot of 1-stars we still need to upgrade, from Arc Warden being the most important. Tidehunter is also pretty important. Just a lot of other units as well. Because we are lacking damage right now. So we're going to need the Arc Warden, we're going to need maybe a Doom. Yeah, that hurt a lot. That hurt way more than I thought it would. Alright, so we're going to reroll a lot here. We got to find these upgrades, mainly on Arc Warden, and we maybe even need another Sacrifice or 2 unit, another Warlock or something. I think we may replace Alchemist with another Mr. Warlock or an Ogre Magi. So Witch Doctor, there's a Kunkka. Probably not going to play Pudge. There's the Arc Warden. Yeah, probably not going to go for 3-star Pudge. Necrophos. Ooh, there's a Medusa? Okay. That's gonna be better. Medusa's definitely better than Slark. Definitely. Man, all the assassins still getting right on our Arc Wardens. That does make our Mr. Warlock pretty good, I guess. Looks like we got it. Mr. Warlock carrying because the Arc Wardens count as the Bloodbound. Alright, so how would I fit... I'd have to cut one of the Heartless, but that would be a warrior, so I wouldn't really want to do that. To fit in the Necrophos. Maybe with Doom? There's an Ogre Magi. Actually, what's maybe correct here is to just make this swap, so that I get one more sacrifice unit on our Arc Warden, and then that just improves his damage output. And since he's our big damage dealer, we probably need that. Especially to punch through this Knights and their damage reduction. Yeah, so we got that. Got the Chaos Knight down, so I think we win this fight. Yeah. Yeah, that was an important. I think that was an important change because we didn't have the 4 Warlocks. Actually, maybe Alchemist is better than Witch Doctor. Maybe we should get rid of Witch Doctor. Or if we get him to 3-star, maybe we don't. This is a tough decision. I think I'm gonna ditch the Alchemists, just because we're so close to Witch Doctor 3-star. And then, if we ever want to get up to 4 Warlocks, it'll be like with the Disruptor, because he's the main appeal of going to 4 Warlocks. Ooh, is that a 3-star Bloodseeker with a Helm of the Undying? That's gonna be really strong. Got on our Arc Wardens, which was a big problem. This is gonna hurt. Yep. We had no CC for him. We need a 2-star Tidehunter is what we need. And we need him to not get right on our Arc Wardens. I'm gonna just sell off this Mr. Warlock to get back up to 50 gold here for the creep round. And then, do I level to 9? Well, if I level to 9, I probably wanted to put in that Mr. Warlock actually. Or like another Arc Warden or something. I think I might level to 9. Just gives me the higher odds of finding the Medusa, the Tidehunter, and a Disruptor. I'm probably not even going to go to Necrophos if I'm being honest here. Because if I want to keep the Warrior bonus, I think Kunkka and Pudge makes sense. Yeah. Or maybe we put in the Necros if we find like a Troll Warlord to replace, say, the Pudge with. You know, I'm going to level to 9. And so we can put in the Necrophos, but then we can replace like Pudge with a Troll Warlord, which would be pretty good to give us the keep the Warrior bonus, but also grab the Troll bonus. I was really hoping for like a damage item for Medusa. I guess Bracers of Desperation on the Kunkka is pretty good. Get a second boat off, but it's not nearly as good as like I wanted a damage item on the Medusa. There's the Witch Doctor 3-star. Okay, that's pretty good. Necrophos. I'm just like rerolling everything here. Necrophos is kind of redundant at this point at 1-star, so I'm just going to put in a second Ogre Magi here. He doesn't provide any bonus traits, because we already had the Heartless and the Warlock. So Maybe this is fine. I think this is good. The extra Ogre Magi is a pretty good reason to go up to a higher level here. Looks like we got this one. Maybe the extra bracers should go on Witch Doctor. Is the Paralyzing Cask better than a 2-star Kunkaboat? Kunkaboat deals 150. This deals 9 instances of 100. I think it might actually be better on him. Ooh, but there's the Necrophos. I like 2-star Necrophos a lot. Is that worth ditching the Warrior bonus? Probably. Like, my Warriors don't really need to be that resilient. And I think the extra healing from Necrophos is going to be a pretty big deal. Yeah, I'm just gonna ditch Pudge here. Alright, looks like our Arc Warden's gonna carry it, and Necrophos dealt a whole lot of healing too. Necrophos has been super important in this fight. So that's why I think ditching the Warriors was fine, because Kunkka and Tidehunter, like, yeah, if they have less armor, it's not really that big of a deal, because, I mean, their whole goal is to take damage and then ultimate quickly. So if they take a couple extra damage, that's okay. They're already pretty resilient as is. And the Pudge was just there for just like a meat shield, but the Necrophos healing is going to provide much more protection. I don't really want to buy that Ogre, because then I actually lose one of my sacrificeable units. But I do want to get like a 2-star Medusa. But I think we're kind of stable for the moment. I think I might... I think I'm actually going to like move this target buddy back a step here to maybe protect the Arc Warden a bit better. Yeah. Like against this Bloodseeker, these other assassins. At least a little bit. Well, Bloodseeker still got it, but I think we win the rest of the fight, because all of their assassins were on our Bloodseeker, whereas our Ogre Magi is now actually really big. How much damage is our Ogre Magi dealing? 1-star Ogre Magi dealing that much damage output. Maybe I should get to 2-star Ogre Magi if I can find like another sacrifice unit. I'll pick it up. I hope I can find another one here. Or like another Necrophos or something. Or another Arc Warden. I'll take another Arc Warden. Nah, well, a 2-star Arc Warden without any items is probably worse than just another sacrifice unit here, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna sell this Necrophos off. It's kind of close. I'm not actually sure which one's better. If I had a good item for the Arc Warden, definitely the Arc Warden, right? If I had a Moonshard or Daedalus or something. But just as it stands, just as just an Arc Warden with nothing special, I think I'll pass. Alright, so this should knock this opponent out. So one of the mages are down. Looking for 3 more Arc Wardens, so we can get a 3-star Arc Warden. I also love this Warlock to get up to 20 gold then. What's the competition like on Arc Wardens? Just one other person has a 2-star? I think that's pretty realistic that we can get a 3-star Arc Warden in this game. We're on a little bit of a winning streak here. We're not losing by much. Creep round coming up here, so we'll have like 27 gold. I think we just... Maybe I can even save up a couple more turns. Or if I find like a Disruptor. Disruptor might be a good thing to put in. I could cut a... There's actually nothing I can realistically cut. That would be like, that wouldn't cost me a synergy or cost me like a sacrifice unit, which I think 3 is kind of the sweet spot here for making sure the Arc Warden is really, really powerful. No damage items again. This is annoying. Is like, do I just pick up another bracers? Like, just 3 bracers, I guess. Bracers on Kunkka. It's another ogre. I just would want to reroll down to like some interest threshold, but I was really hoping for a damage item for the Medusa or the second Arc Warden. But I guess having Kunkka get a second cast off is also pretty good. Not opposed to that. Is that a Blink Dagger Puck? I think it's a Blink Dagger Puck. Oh no! Our real Arc Warden got Lina ulted. Oh, that's bad. That's gonna hurt a lot. That's like our whole board gone. Wow. What dealt all that damage? So the Dragon Knight plus a Nature's Prophet ult just wiped everybody in 1 second. Okay, I'm down to 9. I was not expecting that. That was really quick. I guess Tidehunter needs to be further up to actually get his cast off in time. Otherwise, he's not going to cast quickly enough. Alright, let's see if we can find Arc Warden or Medusa 2-star. Or an Ogre 2-star. Nope. Can probably put Witch Doctor closer to the front as well. Maybe to get him to cast quicker. And can double cast with bracers. Now if he gets Human Silenced, he doesn't make any casts. But that's okay. The rest of our board's got him under control here. Only barely. This is going to be a close one. This will definitely be a close one. Hey, the assassin player got eliminated. That is really good. So now we... Well, there's just this Morphling player left, and let's now scout out some of the other people's positionings. So this is the good lineup for the Kunkka and Tide. This is still a good position. This guy's got a Blink Dagger, so I kind of want to bait that. And we're probably not going to play the same person twice. At least I don't think so. So I kind of want to bait the Blink Dagger over here to the Witch Doctor. Oh yes, double Blink Dagger. I didn't realize Treant had a Blink Dagger. But that's good. We baited to the Witch Doctor, which is exactly what we wanted, because he's going to get 2 casts pretty darn quick. Assuming he's not stunned. Yeah, we got 2 casts. And then Medusa stun. Then Arc Warden gets to go crazy. But he's not going crazy enough. Ugh, man. We could not get anybody dead. What the heck? Beastmaster Axe. Yeah, that was rough. Why could we not get anybody dead in that last fight? Just did not have the damage. Alright, well, 4th place. I still think that was a pretty good showing for this build. We could have definitely done better if we had gotten 2-star Medusa or maybe a couple better lineups, but man, that was a tough opponent to crack there on that last turn. I think we were pretty favored against the other 2 mage lineups. I think with the reposition we would have beat the Nature's Prophet lineup, and we had already beaten the mage lineup, so I kind of think we were the second best lineup here, but we just unfortunately ran into the first place and was not able to get through it. So we definitely see a lot of mages. You see Nature's Prophet showing up in all these mage builds in the new patch. We see a lot heavier focus on 3-stars. Almost everybody, actually everybody had at least a 3-star in the game. We actually had the least with just 1. So that goes to show you how much more important 3-stars are in the current meta and how the new meta is developing. So hope you enjoyed this, and make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.